So it's October 8th, 4 a.m. in the morning. This is a dream journal and some thoughts about waking up and starting my day. I just woke from a dream, and it's my most common nightmare. I arrive home from having walked into town, and there's a group of people here. They're young people in their 20s and young families, and they're hippies, and they're all having a nice time, and they've already started some fires and are playing music, and they're fairly spread out. They've set up their campgrounds, and so as I walk in, a couple of them say hi to me, and I say hi, and I'm immediately concerned about who the hell they are and why they're there. I've had this nightmare in many forms, and it might sound strange to call it a nightmare, since, after all, they're nice people, right? Having a good time. But I've had a lot of years here, and one of the first problems I had when I showed up here was having people here who were not authorized to be here. People like bird poachers, wood poachers, people trespassing for various reasons, and taking advantage of the place because it had been abandoned for years. And part of my goal is to protect the space here. And anyway, so I talk to a few of the people and I say, hey, what are you doing here? And I start to identify who's kind of the leaders of the group. And I say, well, let's get the group together here and talk about who you are and why you're here. And that takes quite a while to get this diverse group of people who are already kind of doing their own thing, to get them all in the same space. And in the process of that, there's people are driving vehicles and not driving on roads, so they're damaging property. They're damaging mushroom habitat and plants. One of the vehicles gets stuck because they're not on the road. The roads here are just dirt roads. They're not very fancy, but you got to stay on them to protect the space. And I mentioned that to one of the people, that that's not the right thing to do. So it takes some time to get them all together, and it's a nightmare because they're happy, nice people in theory. And I then begin to explain to them, well, there's a process, you have to apply, etc. And the dream kind of goes along these lines, but I realized as I was thinking about this dream that I need to actually have a response plan for people like this, because I have had unexpected visitors. It's a very real thing. In some cases, I've even been nice enough to pay them to leave because they didn't know where the hell they were, why they were there. They were underprepared. And then one guy, I remember, he had slept in the woods on the way here because he didn't have a plan on how to get here because it's not published. He hadn't applied or anything. And I was nice to him. I said, well, if you can help out, you can stay. And so he did that for one day and then realized, I don't actually want to, help and do anything. And there's no one else here. And it's not the party that I saw online. And so he said, well, I'm going to leave. And then he said, well, I don't have any money. So I just gave him like 200 pesos and said, just go. Now, obviously, that doesn't work out well for me. He didn't benefit from that experience. If it's a larger number of people, then there's a bigger problem. Now, the gates are locked, and so the dream was kind of unrealistic, and I'm not going to continue with how the dream went. In fact, it kind of ended. I woke up, and I got to start my day. A lot of stuff I need to do right now, and I have a lot of concerns. I'm pretty stressed out. And I guess background to this, I've been chatting with a couple of people online who want to come here. I have somebody who I have accepted to come here in 2 days. I stopped accepting most people. I get, and this is probably why I have these nightmares, I get anywhere from 10 to 20 people that express an interest in coming here, but none of them want to pay. They all want to pay with their labor, which is pretty much has no value in most cases. Their physical labor has no value. And so I'm working out how to have people potentially be here and not pay. But obviously it simply doesn't work out to have 8 or 20 people here every week who want to stay for 2 weeks to 6 months to the rest of their life for free. And this is a really big thing with young people. They want free health care. They want a free place to live. They want free activities and things. Everything has to be free for them. And that simply does not function. What they want to do is steal. That's their goal. And you really just boil it down to the simplest thing. They think it's they want to create a utopian, wonderful world where everything's great, and maybe food just falls off the trees at them. And they get to spend all their time eating and socializing and talking about making a better world. Well, that is all complete bullshit. And I need to have a response plan for people like that. And I think that plan probably involves the police. If people are here and somehow they've gotten through a locked gate and they think they're just going to be staying here. This is the nightmare version of it. That's never actually happened. I mean, I have had people in the past when I didn't have a gate just show up in various ways that you wouldn't like if you were here. They're actually a security threat. And the military showed up here. They're not a direct threat. They're fine. But I have had a lot of experience with people either coming here or wanting to come here and take advantage. So it's very real for me. It's a daily reality. Now, the person coming in 2 days I accepted because she's bilingual, she's Mexican, and I have specific projects that I need to focus on for the immediate survival of the space. Now, I actually don't know what we're even going to live on. I'm currently living off of a jar of change. I asked a guy yesterday to donate because he wants something from me, and he came here before. I need to get better at doing that because I can't live for free. Nothing's free for me. If I need something, if I need to, do a medical thing for the dog, the vet doesn't help me for free. If I need to go to the hardware store, nothing is free for me. Right now I'm at immense risk. If the van has a problem, it's not going to be able to get fixed. So even in 2 days, I've got somebody coming who, I don't know how long she'll stay. She probably thinks there's going to be more people here because people see that online. I do say online, if it matters to you, if there's more people, let me know, because there isn't always. I can't pay for more people to be here for free. I can't be here for free anymore either. I'm stressed as hell. That's how I am at 4 in the morning on October 8th, 2019. Anyway, I accepted her, and I'll work it out somehow. I have some things I hate to do that are actually contrary to the project that I can do to scrape up enough money. And one of the primary things I need to do is define what this place is and what I offer here so that people can pay. I had 2 paying guests so far this year. 2. In 4 or 5 months. And so anyway, so one of the questions I got was what my mornings are like. I usually get up at this time pretty early. When I'm alone, I'm a lot more chaotic in my schedule because I have a lot more flexibility. That is one of the reasons to accept somebody here, because it causes me to focus, and I get pretty depressed alone. I'm just despondent that the way I've set my life up, it's not working at all. I don't want to be in it. So having this person here will cause me to get back on schedule. I get up early in the morning. I'm going to go down and make some coffee. I've got some food that I made. I can generally make a big pot of food, and then I eat it for about 3 days. Sometimes I add a little bit more to it and extend it a day. I don't know if that's completely food safe. There's no refrigeration here. I'm on my last tank of propane, so the other 2 buildings don't have any propane, the other 2 kitchens. That means it'll be, collecting sticks, and it slows everything down a lot. Propane is actually a good cost benefit. It for what you get, it doesn't cost that much because you can just cook a lot quicker. Of course, the idea of just using firewood to cook or solar to cook is much more romantic and is really the goal. But Anyway, I'm not happy that I'm on my last tank of propane. And so that's another thing where, there's real cost to things. And this gets into communicating this to people about the expenses of actually running this place. Now, it is true that if I do absolutely nothing, if I never have anyone else here, if I don't build wildlife habitat, if I don't raise food, if I don't do anything, then I could live here very, very cheaply. And a lot of people, that's their primary goal when they think about coming here is, well, how cheap can I go there? And I think I don't want to talk to those people at all anymore. What I want to do is find the people like me in the world who are saying, how can I create a better world and how much can I give into that process? And some of that giving needs to be in cash because it costs real money to survive at the level people want to. Now, it is true young hippies are willing to live with, a very rustic way for a time. But they're just in a phase of their life where they're consuming in that particular style. They're not committed to it like I am. I'm on 15 years now of doing this. And I've slowly run out of resources. And now I'm watching the place deteriorate. And I'm watching my local relations with the town deteriorate. Like this year, they just had the town party. And I'm supposed to pay a cooperation to pay for that party. I'm a town family. And each family pays. I did not pay this year. That for me was very sad. I'm absolutely destroyed by it. I've paid every year. I always cooperate with it. It's a voluntary tax. It's part of not being an asshole in the community. So I didn't even go to the party because I didn't cooperate. I did not contribute to it. And other people who want to come here, essentially they want to go to a party and not cooperate. They're takers. They're takers, not givers. They're consumers, not creators. And I've come to really hate them. Now, the people in this dream and the people who have come here and haven't paid have been lovely people. They're people we would consider nice. They're entertaining and nice to talk to, and they have great visions of a better world. But when it comes down to it, they're just extensions of colonialism and imperialism. They're invariably foreigners, traveling for years on mommy and daddy's money, and some of them have worked and saved up. And this is not everybody. I mean, I have a donor right now, actually. He's donating $10 a month, and he came here just for 3 days on his bike and stayed. And he liked it enough, he liked the vision enough, that he's now contributing $10 a month. And that is just so wonderful to me. I am so appreciative of that. I live on donations now. I say I live on donations, but the truth is the donations are nowhere near enough for me to actually continue to survive here. And so it's taken me a long time to even be willing to ask for donations. As I whine about having had people here who don't pay, I set that up. I accepted that. That's a reality that I allowed to occur. And my advice for anyone trying to set up anything similar is to have absolutely no tolerance for that. If you have value, if your place has value, if I have value, if this place has value, then don't just give it away. Don't let yourself be abused by people who have no money, but also don't work. They're fake poor people. They're rich people taking advantage of poor people. They're slumming it. They're horrible people. And they think they're really wonderful. I think they should go set up their own projects. And I'm talking with people quite commonly about their efforts, their dreams to set up their projects. And I need to be a little clearer with them that I think that the path they're on is the path of total failure. Because they have these just utopian views. And I feel so conflicted saying that because I have utopian views. I want to build a better society that functions. But fundamentally, the question then needs to be to them is, well, how many people are you going to pay for? Because they want someone else to pay for them. That's their goal, invariably. And it just does not work very long. Now, it does work, actually. If you have enough money, and I did have enough money, you can have a group of really happy people pretending to work and having a fun time. It's really fun, actually. I had a great time doing it, and I don't completely regret it, but I do regret that in that process, during that time period of years, of all these people having a good time, that I didn't at the same time set up an actual sustainable system with people who are going to actually functionally be able to create a survivable system. So that's total failure on my part. Well, now I'm awake. I'm going to go make some coffee. I'm going to get some food. The sun will be coming up in not that long. I might video it. I videoed one recently and then I sped it up and it looked really neat. Today's plan is to get some videos published or uploading. I'm way behind on that. I'm so behind I've become just depressed and not caring anymore and not knowing if there is any future here. So, but I've got these things to share. I still need to go ahead and set up like a Patreon account or some more formal way to ask for donations for the place. Lately, what I've been doing with the applications I get is I've sometimes, if I like the person, then I'll say, well, and here's a donate link. If anybody wants to donate for you to come, that'd be great. And they're like, oh, well, I don't feel comfortable asking for people to donate for me to go there. And it's like, they're asking me to pay for them to come here. And they're not willing to ask anybody else to pay for them. It's been hard for me to be willing to ask for support. Now, I really believe in what I'm doing with all of my life. And I literally, I mean, and it's been an expensive project in every possible way, and I don't just mean money. It's been very risky. It's been scary at times. I don't know of anybody else who would do this or hang in there this long doing it. So on my list is to formally ask the many people who say they're excited by the project, who enjoy the videos, and really identify who's really a supporter of the project. Then I've got some physical things I need to do. One of the dogs is injured. I need to fix the wound. I don't know how the dog got injured. They fight, and they fight with wildlife and things. I've got somebody in town I need to talk to. I will have to do this emergency thing to make money in an unsustainable way, just $50 or something, so that when this person shows up, I'm not just, I need at least food to feed her, I need to go clean up her space for her to stay, so that she doesn't show up to a place that has rat shit and stuff. What else am I doing today? I've got my list. I have a really good list of all the other things. Oh, I'm in debt. I need to check the bank. I didn't even check it because that was depressing. I got one of my websites hacked. Somebody doesn't like me or something. I don't know why it happened, but I need to fix that. Yeah, it's a long list. Anyway, that's morning. Good morning.